important. There's some ways to breathe that are even more powerful and more relaxing and even more invigorating. And
box breathing?
Box breathing. So, yes, you have an understanding of box breathing.
Yeah, it's great.
So where did you learn box breathing?
I just came across it in my study on fitness and things like that years ago.
Right.
And I do it on a regular basis just to kind of center and calm myself, and I find it to be very effective. But of course, everyone's box is a little different.
Well, that's true. Right. So box breathing, some people call this four-sided breath or square breathing. Navy SEALs use this breathing before they go on mission. So it's very calming and grounding and centering. I just had a client come see me, and she said there was a show on, I think it was 60 Minutes, and there was a gentleman who was helping these kids that were in Bosnia and lost a parent, most of them. He was trying to help them recover from the stress of the trauma of the war. So he took them to Switzerland, and he was having them do all kinds of challenges in the mountains, crossing bridges and rock climbing and mountain climbing. So in the show, he was teaching them the box or the square breathing. And she said, I think he said it was in the Navy. And I said, yeah. So what you do with box or square breathing, and you can do this with me if you want to, think about or imagine a point, a spot, about 2 inches behind your belly button, about 1 inch below the belly button. We're going to call that your center point. And then you are simply going to breathe in to the count of 4, hold the breath to the count of 4, exhale to the count of 4, and then pause or simply be empty to the count of 4, hence the term square or box breathing. So let's just try that for a minute. I'll count and you can breathe to my count, and then you can do it on your own if you like. So think about or imagine that point behind the belly button, about 2 inches, about 1 inch below. And what you're going to do, you're going to breathe in through your nose and you're going to exhale through the nose. So there's a book that came out recently by a man named James Nestor. He has scientifically proven that nasal breathing both in and out is healthier than mouth breathing. He's got a whole book. It's really good. It's full of lots of great breathing techniques. So now I'm teaching my clients to breathe in and out through the nose. Try it when you're exercising or walking. Just try it and see what you think about it. He even put medical tape over his mouth and at night, so he would train himself to breathe in and out through the nose at night. I tried it. I couldn't handle the tape on my mouth, but so I still probably breathe open mouth when I sleep. All right, so close your eyes and think about or imagine that spot about 2 inches behind the belly button. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3. Go ahead and do that on your own for a moment. Okay. What was that experience like? Any comments?
Zazen.
Zazen? Meaning?
Oriental philosophy of breathing and meditating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you guys like that? Yeah, it's very calming. I typically do a 4, 7, 8 count before I meditate. I teach self-hypnosis to every client now. I've made it over the years. Nobody wants anything too complicated. Takes too much time. So I teach what I call the New York Minute Easy method of self-hypnosis. It's so easy to learn that I teach it to my clients as we're going into that trancey state, that slower brainwave state. And then I reinforce it with them while they're in that slower brainwave state, so they won't even need an email to remember it. But anyway, I'll do like a 4, 7, 8 count. So I'll breathe into the count of 4, hold the breath to the count of 7, and then exhale through the nose really slowly to the count of 8. And that one settles me down. I learned that before I learned the box breathing. So yeah, so yeah, bilateral stimulation, stopping the world, box breathing, or some other type of breathing technique. All of these are great anti-anxiety hacks that you can do anywhere, anytime, very quickly. Okay, so let's see. Do you guys have questions about what I do? How about we take some time for some questions?
I'll throw one out there. So these professional golfers hire a hypnotist to put them in that state before they even step out on the course.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see where you get up there and all that anxiety. Are you going to hit it like you did the last time you were there? But if you have if you're not thinking about it, you just let it happen, it's going to work better for you.
Right. So, yes, I help golfers. I'm a generalist. I help golfers, soccer players, a lot of gymnasts over the years. Golfers will pay anything to improve their golf game. There are actually hypnotists in Florida. All they do all day long is help golfers, one after the other. Now, I would go crazy doing that. That would be, I like to help people get healthier and have happier lives, but that's great. And sometimes clients come to me and they get help with other issues, and they're like, hey, can you help me with my golf game? So what I've learned over the years is many things, but your emotional state is everything, because your emotions actually drive the mind, and then the mental thoughts fuel the emotional state. So it's a wheel, and I probably should have brought some kind of audio or some kind of visual aid, but the emotions drive the mind, and then the mind fuels the emotions. So if you can change your life in two ways. You can upgrade your emotional state to feel more calm or more empowered or happier. You can also change your thoughts. And sometimes it's easier to upgrade your emotional state because that will drive the thought. So if you can go, I love golf. This is what this makes me happy. I feel calm and at ease. Maybe remember in hypnosis or a meditative state your favorite beach vacation or mountain vacation, or your wedding day, or the day a child was born, or some happy emotional state. So what you can do is whatever emotions are happening, allow them to happen, folks. It's okay to be angry. It's freaking okay to be sad. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be irritated. They're all part of the huge spectrum of human emotions that we all have. Don't repress them, don't suppress them. That causes problems. That's why you have to come see me or other therapists or whatever. So allow your emotions to be what they are. And then you can do the box breathing or maybe another technique. And then perhaps think about that wonderful vacation that you remember from last year or a number of years ago, or just a peak experience that you've had. And you'll find if you can upgrade your emotional state, your day will go better. You can't make the best of decisions in an angry state, in a sad state. It just doesn't go quite as well. So I work with my clients a lot on their emotions and allowing them, expressing them, releasing them in different techniques that we do, and then bringing in the higher emotional state. So with golf, it would be, okay, there's my target. I'm just going to calmly set it up. And so what you do, especially in sports, but in other areas, is you visualize with that higher emotional state. Here's how it's going to look. Here's how it's going to feel. Here's how I'm going to make that, those clients understand, real estate and how to negotiate and how to look for the perfect home or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So upgrading your emotional state in hypnosis is super powerful because the conscious mind has the doubts and the fears. The conscious mind is the sentry. It's constantly looking out for you. It's great. I'm glad I have my sentry going. There's danger here, look out for this. But sometimes it gets very overblown. The conscious mind, we got to set him aside, set her aside. She can sit up on the balcony, up on the shelf, and bring the subconscious, which is just the computer, right? So those doubts and fears can take a step back, and we're just bringing forth the childlike mind, the computer mind. I can go on and on, Gerald, so I better quit now.
To some extent, a lot of what you're describing relates to left brain thinking versus right brain thinking.
Yeah.
And Daniel Pink wrote a book in 2005 called A Whole New Mind, Moving from the Information Age to the Conceptual Age, and his thesis fundamentally is human society will never achieve its full potential until we invite right brain thinking back to an equal seat at the table with left brain thinking.
Yes, I totally agree. Our creative mind, especially in the United States and in the Western world, we're all about action, left brain thinking, create out in the physical. Right brain, the creativity has taken a back seat. So balancing all of that. We need the left brain, folks. We can't move throughout our day without organizing and scheduling and, thinking, that way, laterally or whatever. I completely agree. Yes.
So we're going to have to wind this up pretty quick, but I think a lot of people suffer with trying to sleep.
Yes.
So what's your trick for you? If you're stressed out, you have something coming up.
Right.
You can't get your brain's overdrive.
Right.
So
It's a practice. So I meditate or do self-hypnosis every day. Guess over the years, because of what I do and how I've helped people, I do some spiritual hypnosis to help people get in touch with their higher self is really what it is a way to explain it anyway. And so I've learned that during the day, if I can release those worries during the day, set them aside, take notes, go. I had a big project that was the greatest manifestation of my life that I've ever had, and it took about 3 years. And sometimes I would get so frustrated and hit a wall. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to set this aside, let it kind of simmer for a while, and pick it up again maybe in a month or two. So it's a learned behavior, really. But sleep hygiene is important. Don't look at your phone, and set aside your phone an hour or two before bed. Listen to some inspiring music or read an uplifting book. Prepare yourself for that wonderful time where your conscious mind is set aside and your physical body's at rest, and the subconscious can come forth in the dream state. Limit alcohol, limit food late at night. There's a lot of sleep hygiene that can help. So hopefully that answered your question.
Never heard it called sleep hygiene. That's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Look at that.
When people tell me they watch, Criminal Minds at 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, oh my God, no news, no news stories, no Criminal Minds, please, because that's what's going to go. That's what you put in there is going to be there.
okay, well go ahead. One more.
Usually if I'm pretty athletic, so I work out a lot. So usually when I get stressed, I'll either work out or go to the gym because there's breathing techniques going in and out, and then it kind of releases
Agreed.
the pressure in your mind of what's on your mind. And then that helps you sleep better, because once you get exhausted and tired, your brain will actually just fall asleep.
Completely agree with you. Yes, very important. Clients who aren't exercising, I see about about a third of my clients are to quit smoking, maybe about 40% weight loss The rest are all kinds of everything else. And so if they're not exercising, I'm like,